So, how many people saw the interview today with Darius Cooper? And let me go with what Nick Sirianni said. Did you see what went on in that presser today? How about Nick playing office politics right in front of your eyes? Go back and watch the press conference. Go back and watch the presser and what Nick Sirianni did when he was asked questions about Darius Cooper. You know why? You can't throw shade or cover for Makai Lemon by propping up somebody else. No way. It was played out right in front of your eyes. Anybody who's been a player knows first round love, no matter if you're playing or you're not. When it was brought up about Darius Cooper having a great camp, ho, 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 ho. We got a lot of football to go. We're happy where he is, but we got a lot to go here. Hang on. How about the way he's dismissed it? I guarantee you, if that was Makai Lemon out there making those plays like that, Nick Sirianni would be jumping through freaking hoops to show all the love for the front office and for Howie and his scouting department and kissing that guy's ass. Shit, they kissed Makai Lemon's ass holding a cup of water. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, give the kid his props. He's the most talked about player in camp. The kid was a UDFA. This guy's been like climbing up Mount Everest for over 2 years, and you can't give the kid a pat on the back going, hey, this kid really is trying to make a spot for himself on this football team. Instead, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We got a ton of football left. Let's not go anywhere. I mean, they kiss Lemon's ass. Oh, I love his work ethic. I love the way the work ethic. The guy barely plays. Probably so. If Sirianni had his way, probably so. You can't throw that kind of love on a football player knowing you drafted a guy 17th. No way. That's not how that works. That's why Jalix Hunt is still behind Nolan Smith. It's completely the hierarchy of where you're drafted. And the politics of football, it's been that way for over 100 years. If you're an undrafted free agent, look at the undrafted free agents and late round guys that you guys have let loose on your football team. Howie doesn't let ones go. Howie's going to keep those guys. Shit, if you're a 2, 3, or 4, or 5 rounder, you're expendable. First round draft choices? Dude, Nolan Smith is not a bad ball player, but he's not an impact player. He's a good player. Is he a starter? I don't know. You guys were getting crushed at the edges, and that's why you went and got Jalen Phillips. Think about it. If you were playing so well at the edge, why did you get Jalen Phillips and put him in immediately? Shows it happens in the NFL. Kelsey, a 6th rounder, took number 1 pick Danny Watkins' spot. Mulata, 7th-rounder, took Andre Dillard's spot. Who do you think won the fight? A Jomo or Fred? I'm going to Jomo. To be fair, if we get through the whole preseason doing the same thing, he's not played in a preseason game yet. Kurt Warner was an undrafted free agent and won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and it took the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl. Don't you remember how he got that job? The only reason he got that job was because, why? Does anybody remember? Trent Green got hurt in the final preseason game. That was the only reason he got hurt. He didn't beat out anybody, or you'd never know who Kurt Warner's name was. So, I mean, he would never have played. He got in there because, right, okay, so you know the story. Okay, Greg. That's the only way he got in there. Can anyone name a player that we've drafted for offense that we started and didn't deserve to be out there over who we had? No. Then again, you really haven't drafted a shitload of people in high picks. Your offensive, Markel Bell's probably the highest offensive lineman next to Cam Jurgens that you drafted in the last 3 years. Cam was a second. Markel was a third, right? Plus, you still got veteran guys in that O-line. By the way, did Makuba start the season for the Eagles last year? Did he start at safety in the first game? Andrew Makuba? I forget. Did he start? Because, okay, so he started. Did Jahad Campbell start in the first game of the year for the Eagles? Did Jahad start too? Just because I think he did because N'Kobe was hurt, right? Okay, so Campbell and Andrew Makuba started. But Makai Lemon won't. Most likely. I don't know. Mike Martz didn't hate him. But Mike Martz didn't want to go with him for the entire season, to be fair. And Mike quickly changed, like after week 3 or 4, and fell in love with Warner. And those guys are best friends today. I know Mike Martz very well. Gotta love seeing teammates fight. Nothing builds a stronger brotherhood than a good throwdown. I've got no problem with that. Nothing personal. It's called competing. Dean started as soon as he was healthy, though he lost his job while he was playing good. Seals, our depth at linebacker will hurt Trotter Jr. this year. Some say he could start for other teams. His next contract, do you think his agent finds him another place to play? Before you say that, so you think Trotter could start somewhere else? Do you? Well, where are you going when you don't have Davis and Carter in front of you? You better put that in context too. Your linebacker core is great because why? You've got $60 million in front of them guys. Your linebackers better be good. Look at the money you got in front of them guys. And if you want to beat Jeremiah Trotter and you want to go where? To the Jets and play inside linebacker and get blown off the football, making tackles 5 yards down the field, lead the NFL in tackles, and you're getting blown off the ball because the tackles in front of you are getting murdered. There's context to that. Those linebackers that are on Philly are having really good careers, right? Well, you better start looking at the guys in front of them, too. Who's in front? Ajomo, Carter, and Davis. Well, You're going to have a lot of free scraping space to make plays. I wouldn't flip my shit if Lemon didn't do much this year. Just want to see development. And put the best players out there this season. Most teams rush rookies out there and kill their careers early. Dude, you don't have the 8 years or the 5 years or whatever any longer. You got to find out if your guys can play. I completely hate that. If a kid's good enough, play him. Hey, and by the way, SS, if you can't beat out Elijah Brown or Elijah Moore and Hollywood Brown, where are we going here? We're not talking about him beating out Devontae Smith. Seals, you think one of the reasons Rodney Harrison is not in the Hall of Fame because of Trent Green, they labeled him a dirty player? Well, who are the most contact players in the history of the National Football League that played the safety position that were considered dirty football players who should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? There's 2 dudes, Rodney Harrison and one other guy who's not in the Hall of Fame, who should be in the Hall of Fame. And in my opinion, he's the greatest tone setter in the history of the sport. And people feared him. The Arena League is what taught Kurt Warner to be a good passer. I think so. When he was with the Iowa Barnstormers. Tatum. Jack Tatum. The ultimate tone setter. Paralyzed people. Literally. Knocked people's helmets off. He couldn't play today. Jack Tatum couldn't play in today's NFL. He was too violent of a player. He would have been suspended like Burfict. Just was too violent. You could keep both at 27, but it's a matter to get something for him and let him walk. Tatum was unbelievable. And one of the reasons why the Raiders were the great Raider team is because of that secondary they had. By the way, we've had some of the greatest Raiders of all time on this program. And he played right next to him. You guys know who he is. George Atkinson. My wife loved George Atkinson. Eagles medical staff is not going to rush Lemon back after Landon Dickerson accused them of rushing him back too soon last season. Could be. So let's get to Nick Sirianni again. Hey, how about that office politics? Hey, man. Whoa, on Darius. Whoa. Every single fan wants to see that guy play. I wonder if the coaches do. And I wonder if the front office does. Because if Darius Cooper gets a starting role and Lemon doesn't, so here, if Darius Cooper plays and is more productive than Makai Lemon in his first year, what will that say? How do you think that looks? If your 17th pick and an undrafted free agent has a better first year, how do you think that'll look to the front office, who drafted that guy and counted on that guy to at least carry some of the water for the offensive passing game this year? Still, I'm tired of hearing mental reps. Mental reps. It's a media made-up thing, mental reps. He's sitting on the sidelines chewing ice, getting mental reps. Darius Cooper was actually a starting quarterback, like Hines Ward. I truly believe if that happens, it'll be because of Lemon's health. Not that Cooper is skillfully better than Lemon. Well, wait. Whoa, wait. I truly believe if that happens, it's because Lemon's health. Not that Cooper is skillfully better than Lemon. How do you know that? How do you know he's not a better football player? Because he was taken 17th and Howie told you so? You understand that. That's how the hierarchy works. The Eagles are telling everybody on the coaching staff and you, well, Lemon's a better prospect. We took him 17th. We found Cooper. He can't be as good. And boy, I'll tell you what, that political office pool that you play with players is nauseating. It really is. Like I said, Kurt Warner's a great example. You guys brought him up. Warner would never have ever played if Trent Green didn't get hurt. Even though, if you go back and talk to Mike Martz and Vic Vermeil, Kurt Warner outplayed Trent Green that offseason and that preseason. Still, they went, no, we're going with Trent because he's the more experienced guy. I think they got him from Washington or something. And they were going with him, even though Kurt Warner outplayed him. Didn't matter. That didn't matter. If Lemon is him, Coop going to give Wicks a run for his money. Hey, listen. We're not even talking about the number 2 guy yet. Tom Brady would never beat Tom Brady if Bledsoe doesn't get knocked out in the Jets game. Here, look at this. How do you know Lemon is a superstar? I know. Dude has been injured the entire offseason. I know. How did you know Kurt Warner was going to be a Hall of Fame player? I don't know. Opportunity. Get this. It's all unknown. Okay. So don't tell me you have a great wide receiver room then. So, Sills, the evidence that you have on Cooper is in training camp and his past preseason games. What evidence do you have on Lemon? There's your answer. Right. At least I've got something to work with. And Mike Marks was in Washington with Trent. Good job, Kyle. I didn't realize that. Let's see here. Prince says we might. Okay, well, let's take a look at what these men that he says you might. Let's see who they are. Let's see Dontavian Wicks. Let's check out what Dontavian Wicks has done in his career and see who he is. Dontavian Wicks. Green Bay, right? Okay. Best year was his first year. 39 catches for 581. 4 TDs. Next year, 415, 39 catches. Last year, 30 catches, 332. Okay. Who else? Hollywood Brown. See what Hollywood's done last couple of years. He was pretty good his first couple of years when he was in Baltimore. So his last 3 years in the league, 574 for 51 catches. 24, he had 9 catches for 91 yards. And in Kansas City last year, he had 49 for 587. and he's 28. Who's the other guy? Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore. Let's see who this guy is. Last 2 years. Let's see. 3 years. Let's go Cleveland. 2024. 61 catches, 538. And 9 catches for 112. Last year, I guess he was hurt. He had 9 catches for 140 yards. That's who Prince says you might. Let me guess. Hollywood Brown shouldn't make this team. Why? Because of the video? Moore needs to do more than catch scheme passes and flats. So let me go to Nick Sirianni. They're not going to name a starting quarterback probably until maybe even game day and what they're going to go. Darius Cooper, I do like what he said about one thing about him. Said he's got elite hands. That's great to hear. That's like Chris Carter shit. Nick would know what elite hands are. He's a pretty good wide receiver coach. Like that's a forte of Nick's. If Nick tells you this guy's got great hands, okay, you could take that to the bank. He's worked with some pretty good wideouts. And I believe him. He knows what he's looking at. Now, he's going to go hyperbole, but he's not really going in on that with this kid because of Lemon. I guarantee you, if Lemon wasn't drafted, they'd be going more over the top on Darius Cooper. If Lemon wasn't on the team. But he is. Elite hands is a good comment. He talked about his BS playing with detail. He said he's excited to see what Hurts does in 2026. Hey, you know what? I will say this to you about Jalen Hurts' camp so far. All the stuff we've never heard him work on, he's working on. I think that's good, man. I really do. Get this. Dude didn't show up all offseason, but because of the video, you're going to push that narrative when you said the same thing yesterday. Sills is a joke. Then why are you here? Pushing a video? It's a stupid interception. I'm talking about how people have reacted to it. You think it's an indictment I'm making on Hurts for the pick in practice. I care less about the pick in practice. I love the response and the reaction. It shows you where people's minds are. I don't know what else to say to you, Prince. Eagles 2026 wide receiver core for 23 or for 53-man roster. Okay? D. Smith, Wicks, Cooper, E. Moore, Britton Covey, and 2 to the practice squad. Darius Cooper was so good in preseason last year. AJ made him change his jersey number. He wore a linebacker number like 49. Is that right? I think I remember that. I do. I think I remember that. I think he did wear 49. Forget to add Lemon. Yeah, 50. He's got to be added. Seals, it's a numbers game with emergency of the emergence of Cooper and Lemon. A number one, another position player having a good camp probably gets cut. 41? Thank you. Seals, You know, Hurts is my boy, but I still have to see it on game day. But I will say going against Vic helps him. Absolutely. Hey, Danelle, like all these lists that have come out on Jalen Hurts, all the commentary, it's over. All the camp glazing, all the Philly media glazing, it's over. We're going about to play 18 weeks of football, 17 ball games. And we're going to find out if Sean Mannion was the right hire. Here are your Eagle questions. Can Hurts do it? In the new offense? Will the Eagles get back to a great running game? Sean Mannion, the right hire. Was there no drop-off with the hiring of Chris Cooper? Is Makai Lemon a future star on the Eagles? And did Jalen Carter have a rebound season? Another one. Jordan Davis turned himself in to a 3-down defensive tackle. Did Landon Dickerson turn back and return back to form? Landon and Cam. These are all the questions that'll be answered. Can Hurts do it in the new offense? Is the run game returned? Is Sean Mannion the right hire? Is there a drop-off with Chris Cooper from Jeff Stoutland? Is Makai Lemon a future star? Did Jalen Carter have a rebound season? Is Jordan Davis a 3-down DT? Is Landon and Cam back to form? Let me see. Does Jalix Hunt elevate his game? And the last one, is Jonathan Grenard going to be an impact player? There's your season. Can Hurt? These are your 10. Here's the 10 questions, like the 10 commandments. Can Hurts do it in the new offense? Is the running game returned? Was Sean Mannion the right hire at OC? Is Chris Cooper a good replacement for Jeff Stoutland? Will Makai Lemon be a future star? Did Jalen Carter have a bounce-back year? Is Jordan Davis turned himself into a 3-down lineman? Number 8, Landon and Cam back to form? Has Jalix Hunt elevated his game? 10, did Jonathan Grenard make an impact on your football team? There's your 10 commandments. Those are your 10 questions that we're going to find out. How can you answer these questions now, Curtis? Here you go. Sills, JC will rebound. Okay. Lemon will be a future star. All these, I'm not going to finish reading it because we're going to find out. So it's back to what you were saying about Nick. Is that an indictment on him that they're finally doing everything he never did in the past when he's referring to Jalen? Expand on that a little more, Prince, if you can for me, please. Sills, I said Lemon will be not a star. Oh, okay. Well, I sure hope not. Root for any kid to fail, man. So hard to make it in that league. Rooting for anybody. Oh, yeah. Jake Elliott. Let's put an asterisk here. You better hope for good weather or Jake Elliott's going to have another shitty year. You better hope for not windy circumstances at Lincoln Financial this year, or you're going to have another crappy year by your kicker. I think all those questions piggyback off each other. How is the offense playing as a unit? Well, wait. Jonathan Grenard has nothing to do with the offense. Is he going to play or is he not going to play? And he's going to be an impact guy. Because if he's not an impact guy, you guys were telling me he was an upgrade from Jalen Phillips. Well, we're about to find that out. Another one, Sills. Can Campbell take his game to? That's a good one, too. I like that. Will Campbell be an upgrade from the Kobe Dean? I'll put that there. Campbell upgrade to Dean. Blankenship. Does Andrew Makuba cover the loss of Blankenship? Seals, JD would be 3 down without a Jomo on the team. That question will be answered next year. Bullshit. You're going to take a $25 million a year guy off the field this year, and he's not a one-of guy, and we got to wait and find out until you take a Jomo off the field? No. That guy's got to evolve into being a 3-down guy. They're paying him on being a 3-down guy. They're paying him for what they think he's going to become. Okay, all right, I got you. Well, Woolen be a solid cornerback too? Yeah. Hey, just remember this. Jason, there's a reason why he's not on the Seahawks. And they're the defending champions. And see you later. When his offense falls flat on his face, blame guys like Elliott, Parks, gassing up a bunch of nobodies at wide receiver. He's like the Pied Piper acting and leading the rats. Dude, those receivers are just guys in their career. Hollywood's past his best playing days. Wicks, I don't know. By the way, let me go to Green Bay. Has anybody been a star wide out there? Like in the last, since Jordan Love has started? Let me see Green Bay. So let me see Christian Watson. So Christian Watson, 6'11", 422, 620, 6'11". He was a second rounder. Who else did they have on that team? Jaden Reed. 793, 867, 207. Golden, the kid from Missouri or from Texas. 361. Anybody else? Kraft. 355, 703, 489 in 8 games. So he's probably around 1,000 yards if he would have played the full season in 25. But their wide receiving core, what did Wicks have last year too on that team? What did Wicks do last year? Wicks had 6 catches or 6 yards for 1 catch. In 14 games, Dontavian Wicks had 1 catch for 9 yards. I'm reading the stat sheet, guy. He had 1 catch for 9 yards. They also never drafted a Devontae Smith. If they had Smith on their team, maybe they would have been more of a focal point in the offense. Dude, they're wide receivers. They're just guys up there. And they pay, yeah, you're right. And they gave Watson money. Okay, well, here. So hold on here. Depth chart. Last year, stats. Let's see. Dontavian Wicks. Numbers. It is 30 catches for 322. 24, you had 39 for 415. And at 23, you had 39 for 581. I think that was the playoff game this last year he had, because they got it listed here with the team stats. Dontavian Wicks. There it is. 30 catches, 332 is what he had. Again, they're all dudes. And Prince had me look up a guy who had 300 yards receiving. Okay. The good thing about the New Eagle offense, the ball is getting spread around. I have Barkley, Goddard, Wicks, Slim Reaper, sprinkle the rest. The most important question of the year, can the Eagles sustain drives? The defense underperformed last year due to a historic number of 3-and-outs. They underperformed? I think they overperformed because of the shitty 3-and-outs. If they would have had a halfway decent 3-and-out football team, the Eagles might have finished 5th in total defense. I disagree with that. If their 3-and-outs were better, hell, if they were 20th, the Eagle defense may have finished top 7 or 5. I disagree with that take. GB just had a bunch of good wideouts, nothing more. Wicks was the odd man out because of contract year. He'll have more opportunity in Philly. So let's see what he does with it. Okay? That's a fair take. He's going to get his opportunity. I will say, if looks are deceiving, I say Wicks pressure today. He's a pretty big dude. He has some guns. Can be as physical as AJ. I hope so. Going to compare him to AJ? If they plan on distributing the ball like that, the playbook is going to have to be a massive scheme. These guys open. Man, if I got to get a guy open and he can't get open on his own. Sills, if Mannion plans on using the Green Bay offense, wouldn't it mean he plans on using Barkley and Goddard bulk of the catches? Especially in the middle of the field? I think so. Yeah, but Love is a better passer than Jalen. I mean, he's a better passer. Guy goes across the field, sees the field better. And don't forget something else too, James. He's got a better play caller. This guy's got Matt LaFleur. Seals, if you're a defensive coordinator, are you really keeping a Jomo on the bench on third down and third? No. I'm pulling Jordan Davis off. No. If I'm Vic, I'm pulling Davis off the field until otherwise proven. That's my point. So this defense will keep us in every game this year. Yes, barring any injuries. I'm so ready to see the problem was. I'm so ready to see who the problem was for the offense. Nick or Jalen. That will be proved out this year. Jordan Davis hasn't. Well, I think the guy looks pretty good right now there. And by the way, man card alert on Maniac. Talking about another dude's junk. Dude, that's like a man card like violation. Unfortunately, dude, you're going to get yellow carded for that. Talking about another man's junk gets yellow carded. Doing it 2 times in a row, you get a red card. For talking about another man's junk. Not good. All right, imagine not only is the receiver able to get open on his own, but you also do your job at scheming him open so it works hand in hand. Of all the people that just let me down, Jersey Maniac just let me down by talking about another man's junk. Woo, man. Damn, dude. Jordan Davis hasn't missed a game. He doesn't get credit for that. He doesn't get credit for not missing games. Bring that up to Vic. Sill's not comparing Wicks to AJ, but like you said, he'll get every opportunity to prove it. Let's hope he makes the best of his opportunity. I agree with you. Hey, Sills, I've noticed something this offseason about the wide receivers. The players who are excellent route runners are not having problems. Wicks, Cooper, and Smitty are all great route runners. That's a great observation. You know why? They know the playbook. They know the exact cuts. That's a great take. We're literally talking about all sorts of different teams right now. Dog and mix. Let's see here. I don't think the question is if Nick or Jalen was the problem. I think that question right there is irrelevant. Who gives a shit who the problem was a year ago? Did you fix it? But I see what you're saying, though. Okay? But by the way, if Hurts can't pick up this new offense, are you going to blame the coordinator again? Hollywood Brown? What are you going to do? Yeah, Nick gave you a word salad today. He did. Gave you a word salad. Hey, by the way, Adam Kaplan's going to join us tomorrow. Our friend Howard Balzer will join us today at 4:30. Z's going to join us in a couple minutes here. How are people using the word great when these guys barely been on the field getting like 300 yards in a season? You can't use the word great. They've been uninspiring careers so far, except for Hollywood. Hollywood's had a couple moments. He's had a couple moments. Okay. Let's see here. Seals, how hot will Sirianni's seat be? Or does he get a pass from Howie if this offense goes south? I don't know. Because you can't keep blaming the offensive coordinator. No, you can't. By the way, let me take a look at something over here. Let me go down the list here. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Let's see here. Philadelphia Eagles. Let's take a look how the video, there it is. Where is it at now? 16.3 million. Whew. Damn. Watching Hurts throw a pick. Completely out of context. Yeah. Jason, we got to do something before it's too late. No. You can't do nothing right now. Sirianni's job is as safe as it gets if the NFL stopped the gap. As a fan, give me the best 11 to make a deep playoff run. Don't work like that. Politics, bro. Forget where they were drafted. Forget that too. Dude, SS, you got to talk in reality. Give me the best 11. Forget where they were drafted. It's got nothing to do with it. Well, what did we give up in the trade? If we make a playoff run, none of that works. Jason, did you ever see a quarterback and his mom sitting on the field together after practice? That's 1,000% emotional. Oh, man. The players in the locker room don't like shit like that. You'd be shocked how you're wrong. Lamar Jackson's mom is his agent, and she's constantly in his face. Don't you remember what she said to him when he walked off the football field? What were you doing out there against the Eagles? Why didn't you run? You had opportunity in open space. Why didn't you run? His mom gave him shit walking off the field when they were playing against the Eagles. Should have took off more. What were you thinking? Mom got in his ass. Sills, I don't think you can blame Jalen for last season. I'm not blaming just Jalen for last year. The organization set that offense up for failure. From the hiring of Kevin Patullo on down. To the medical staff putting players out there that shouldn't have been playing. To a player that wasn't engaged because somebody didn't straighten his ass out. That's coaching, organizational, and player performance. All of it is what led to the offense laying an egg a year ago. All of that was all encompassing. It's the big picture. Shitty coordinator hire. Medical staff putting players out there that weren't ready. Players not engaged. And no accountability. No accountability. You guys realize this offense has been declining over the last 3 years. It's only up from here in my eyes. Stop always thinking the worst and be optimistic. Dude, you got to be a realist. Optimistic? How about being a realist? This is where you are today and what you are working with. I hope. Hope is the worst word in sports, next to potential. I hope the O-line comes back. I hope Lemon plays well. I hope that Hurts picks the offense up. I hope. All of that is wishful thinking. Who are you today? What are you? Who are you working with? What are the coaches that are on your team? How are they going to get you in a position of success based on their success? Simple. Optimistic? How about being a realist? I mean, seriously, who are you today? Who is your coordinator today? I don't know. Who is Makai Lemon? I don't know. Will Dontavian Wicks step up? I don't know. Will Barkley return back to form? I don't know. Will Gernard be an impact? I don't know. That's not being a pessimist. That's being a realist. Sills, was Jimmy Johnson ever a jokester when you were in Miami? No. On the football field? No. Off the field? Yes. On the field? No. Okay? Sills is the king of holding people back. You don't improve because you are who you are. Holding people back. No, you know what Vic does every press conference, folks? He tells you who you are. He tells you what you are. He tells you where you are at this particular time on the depth chart. I guess Vic holds people back too. Because when you hear Vic Fangio talking, he tells you what you are and who you are. Guy like Prince, never be coached by a guy like Fangio. Because he would think he was talking shit to him. Me, if Vic was talking shit to me, as long as he was talking to me, I knew he was engaged with me, which meant he still had some hope for me. When that coach stops talking to you and stops addressing you, then you're really in trouble, guy. Holding people back? I was motivated by people who told me, you got a long way to go, son. And I fucking left Miami, an All-American, and was drafted in the National Football League draft. And I left all them people behind me because I held people back. And I held them back because they were talking shit or ignoring me. Thank God I didn't listen to a guy like that feed me bullshit. Hey, I hope you're going to get better, kid. Hey, I hope. My coaches didn't talk to me like that. My coaches never talked to me like that. Okay? My coaches looked at me and said, you got to do this or you're going to be gone. And if you don't do this, you're out. This guy's playing better than you. Is that being a pessimist or a realist? I think sometimes my problem is I talk to you guys how coaches talk to players, and you can't take it. That's why when I ask questions, and they're different than John, I've been talked to like that my entire life. I played 33 years of football, and I don't ever remember not being talked that way. Sills, what do you think of Baldinger saying Miami has harder off seasons than the Eagles and most NFL teams? He's right, because Mario's there. Mario's bringing back that old school practice where you kick the shit out of people for 5 days. And then you got to Saturday, and it was a day off. My hardest games were Monday to Thursday. And we couldn't wait for the walkthrough with Jimmy. Our inside drills and our team scrimmages would go 3 hours. Full hit, full go against first-round draft choices. Jerome Brown, Michael Irvin, Vinny Testaverde, Jim Kelly, Benny Blades, Perriman, Eddie Brown, Kennedy, Maryland. All these guys, we're doing first-team reps for 3 hours. Full contact. To the ground. We played on Saturday with a day off. We got into games against Oklahoma, and we kicked the shit out of them and went, man, we beat that team, and they were number one in the nation. Oklahoma came into our place. They were number one, and we beat them 28-10. And we walked off the field going, our second team was stronger. Highsmith was the third pick in the draft. And I'm going against him every play. And these guys are knocking your head off. You got into a game on Saturday, and Jimmy did the same shit he did the same shit when he was in Dallas with the Cowboys. They practiced like that there too. Can you imagine if Andy Reid had Vic his entire career? Vic would have been electric. And he'd have won something that mattered. Sounds like Saturdays were roadkill. There you go. Dude, let me hook you up on this. My 3 years at UM, we were 32-1. And we lost the first game of the year in 1985. After that, we went 31-0 in the regular season. 31-0. What are you doing? Started a home win streak of 58 consecutive football games at home. There's dudes on that team that I played with that didn't lose a home game. They were for 10 years. And that was all because of the way they practiced. You're damn right, dude. All right. Hold on for a second. Before I get this up here with Big Z here, let me take a look at something here. Let me go over to Eagles here. Hang on here. Let me double check it here. Where are we now? What's up with this? 16.3 million people have watched